Growing up, I was exposed to various media, especially television and radio. My family bonded over laughter and learning from screens and radio waves. If it made us laugh and learn, then it was worthy content. This early exposure made me curious about the content we consume, people who create it, and how it shapes the minds of consumers. Then came social media, and I became active on Twitter, now X, and Facebook, and of course started my blog. It didn't take long to realize how many people depended on my content to make life-changing decisions. I saw firsthand how powerful content could be. I went on to start a podcast, have my own radio show and TV show, and of course, produce content. The lines between new and traditional media soon became blurry for me. So I know the power of media and the sense of responsibility it carries. While we often say our society is losing its values and culture, media owners must take their fair share of the blame and rise to the challenge of salvaging what's left of our media space. Media plays a crucial role in informing, educating, entertaining, and shaping public opinion. It's frustrating to hear a media professional in 2025 talk about a divide between journalists, traditional media practitioners, and bloggers. This outdated mindset is why Nigeria's media powerhouses are still playing catch-up with platforms like Instablog and Tunde Not. They held on to the idea of being the better platform, not recognizing the rapid digital landscape. So my charge is to everyone, whether your platform gets 100 or 10 million views, what do you amplify? Will you publish stories that challenge opinions, change opinions, or rather, Daniel Rega's word takes to chase clicks? Where do you draw the line? Can you commit to publishing at least 10% value-driven content daily? What standard operating procedures have you drawn for your organization? What Nigeria do you want to see tomorrow? It starts with you and the platform. We must break away from the shackles of chasing clicks and first to post. Authentic stories and voices must be heard and amplified.
Look, spot on. I completely align with your advocacy. And I'll start from chasing clicks. You know, for me, because my content is very different, I'm particular about menstrual health, leadership and stuff. Lately, I've been posting a lot about menstrual health. It will be counterproductive for me to evaluate what I'm doing based on the clicks and the comments I get on those posts, because I know that not everyone will leave a post. First of all, it's shattering silence. Again, it's anti establishment, you know, in terms of people keeping quiet about menstrual health. So I have turned my posts, you know, my page into a notice board. If you clicked, good for you. You don't engage, good for you. The important thing is that I'm creating value, I'm putting value for, I'm posting things that will benefit, you know, a lot of people. So whether you click or not is really not a big deal to me. And until we get to that point where we're not click dependent, our happiness is not dependent on the clicks and comments on your posts, you will not break free from people pleasing tendencies. That's one. Secondly, I love the value-driven points you made. I love the fact that you're challenging us to amplify what will be beneficial to the people. I'm going to use the example of the Quam 2. Quam 2 and what happened to Comfort. You see the way people gleefully shared the nudes of, you know, semi-nude photos and videos of
They made a
Comfort.
GIF out of it.
Goodness gracious, I had to do a post like, I don't understand. Is it that we're doing soft porn? Because there's nothing there to post. It's somebody's semi-nude. But people were amplifying it, to use the word that you use. What are you amplifying on your pages?
What's jumped out to me in all of this is, what do you amplify? A lot of people don't even know that they're amplifying certain content. So someone who put out a rage page, you now quote, tweet it and start saying, oh, can you see this? You are amplifying it. And you're also training your algorithms that these are the kind of things you are interested in. You know, and some people will see something they disagree with, and then they will share it with other people. You're training your algorithm that, yes, these are the kind of things I find worthy enough to share people. So it's very important as a digital media user, you know, to be mindful of what you share, what you quote, even the things that you find outrageous. And so there are ways to share without amplifying. You can take a screenshot. That is like a less amplifying way. You are not calling attention to the account, you're not calling attention to the post, but you're still making your point about what is going on there. Growing up, right, our media content, it was pretty straightforward. There is always the villain and a hero, but these days, no lines. You see content, everybody is a villain. You now start wondering, like, okay, what precisely am I supposed to take away from this content? I am very intentional about the kind of media I consume and the kind of media I amplify. And then I had a friend over recently, and I was watching the show, and she was like, Zuma, you shouldn't watch this show. This does not glorify who you are. This is not the kind of content you want to internalize. That the kind of things you consistently watch, you expose yourself to, at the end of the day, shapes your mindset.
Absolutely.
So as organizations, as individuals, as parents, as citizens, it is important for us to be mindful of the kind of content we consume, because the media content we consume shapes our society as it is. And some of the Nigerians are bad. Look at the quality of movies we are producing. Look at the kind of skits we see. You hardly see any skit that glorifies anything positive. It's either prostitution or witchcraft, or, it's just a lot of things. That's it for me, Elsie.
So the reality is that, today, media and publishing has been democratized. Everybody can say whatever they want to say. They have a voice. We're not regulated. Freedom is more expressive now than just what the editor thinks that everybody should read. And that's what we see, that because traditional media has evolved from the mainstream right now to what we see now in social media, where everybody has a voice, everybody has a platform. The challenge we have now is a challenge of regulation. The question I ask, for instance, traditional media is regulated. So you have the NBC. There are rules, there are codes, broadcasting codes that you have to keep. Okay, I think the NBC, I think the Press Council also regulates them. The question is, who regulates social media? Who regulates your podcast? Okay, when you ask that question, you begin to get answers like, okay, maybe it's the Cybercrime Act. That's not, that's the law.
Or maybe the NCC.
Maybe the NCC, maybe NIPDA. So you begin to see that there's no clear regulatory framework that regulates, social media. And it's because of the unique challenge, like we have talked about, the algorithms and things like this. So we're going to have to come to a point where we ask ourselves, to what level can we regulate freedom? Because social media represents freedom of expression. I can say what I want to say without being censored.
There's a cybercrime.
Yes, the Cybercrimes Act.
Yes.
So the challenge we have is, how do we balance freedom with responsibility and accountability? And I think that's a debate we must have to move forward.
So, that social media has made things accessible. It has broken barriers. And just as we were saying about traditional media having some censorship, you don't have that with social media. And for me, I don't... how much do you want to regulate? Because now, if you find out, people say, okay, people don't interact anymore. It's just like how people were talking on the streets or in the marketplace or at the newspaper vendor in the past. Now they do it on their computers. And if you are lucky, it's not everybody that has a high followership. But now, about your question, are you just you want to create value, or you don't want to get clicks? What is value? Okay, what is value to you might not be value to me, because we cannot even use regulation to solve this, because like what you said, skits about witchcraft is not a crime. Skits about prostitution is not a crime. Okay, as in the Cybercrime Act comes into play when a criminal
when you defame somebody.
Yeah, for things like that, that's those are crimes. But a lot of things that we see that we might not take as having value addition are not actually crimes. And don't forget that there is also the part of money making. People want to make money
as influencers.
Yeah. Also, people want fame. Now, Then why I want to go back to the issue of value is this. For example, unrelated, Big Brother Nigeria, people say, oh, will you ban the show? And I ask myself, how is this show different from our Nigerian music videos? We all dance to them, we sing to them, we play them at our weddings. If you look at the Nigerian music video, how is it different from Big Brother House? So these are the questions. We need to ask ourselves a lot of questions about what
That's
value
a
is.
very controversial thing to
Interesting
say.
take, you know.
Are you saying that because I see that a lot of things within Big Brother has to do with nudity?
Regardless,
seen
I
Nigerian
think that
music
whatever
videos?
it is, we have to still find a way to maintain our decorum, right? And in terms of regulations, there's a challenge there, even from the regulators' point of view, because each time they approach it, they are not approaching it to solve this problem. They are approaching it to protect themselves and be able to reduce.
That's
So when you have that kind of approach, you are almost never going to solve the problem, right? But we either see ourselves as victims of a nation in decay or authors of a society that is ripe for change. The choice is ours.